Living in Cuba, as harsh as it might sound, it is like living behind bars for your entire life. Cubans have no freedom, have equality, but too much order, which makes life in there a nightmare. Cuba has been under communist government since July 1, 1961. It is said that no political party is permitted to nominate candidates or campaign on the island, including the Communist Party. In February 2013, current President Raúl Castro stated that in the year 2018 he will resign after 5 years of presidential elective. Although through the past years there won't be any change of president until then, Castro hopes that when he leaves the power behind, that the new president maintains implement permanent terms limits for future Cuban presidents, including age limits. It is said that Cubans are not allowed to leave the island without a government permission, neither change jobs without their permission, change resident without government acceptance, access to the internet without government permission. The internet is closely monitored and controlled by the government. Only 1.67% of the population has access to the internet. Furthermore, citizens in Cuba can't send their children to private or religious school. All the schools belong to the government. People can't watch independent or private radio or TV stations. All TV and radio stations are owned and run by the government. Another order and statement that shows no freedom of speech would be that if anyone criticizes the Castro brothers or the Cuban Communist Party, there is big probabilities to send you to jail just by saying your dislikes about Cuban government. There is also more absurd laws, but if I say them all, it will be endless. Now I will show you a video in which shows all the human rights people should have and various wrong things that Cuba does, so pay attention. According to Wikipedia, it mentions that Cuban government has been accused of numerous human rights abuse, including torture, arbitrary imprisonment, and unfair trials. Human Rights Watch has stated that the government repressed nearly all forms of political dissent, and that Cubans are systematically denied basic rights to free expressions, association, assembly, privacy, movement, and due process of law. Equality in Cuba actually is not bad, although when Fidel Castro, brother of recent president, had a big discrimination toward LGBT, meaning lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender. Ever since 2008, Cuba has made a massive stride in this occurrence. One of the reasons this has improved is because of the work that Mariel Castro, Raúl Castro's brother, director of the National Center for Sexual Education, has done. The government has helped to sponsor an annual International Day against homophobia, and the Ministry of Public Health has authorized government-provided sex reassignment surgeries for transgender people. In 2010, Fidel Castro issued an apology for the regime past persecutions of LGBT individuals. Also, gender equality in Cuba has made a big achievement. Women and men have the same land ownership. Both have the legacy capacity to own non-land assets, and there is no legal discrimination. In Cuba, there is no preference of gender to go to any public space that has been restricted by the government for their citizens, although, as stated many times before, Cubans' freedoms of movement to another country is viewed as a criminal offense, unless provided or accepted by the government. Women and men also have the right to vote, but it's said in the most recent report of CDAW, on the Elimination of Discrimination Against Women, notes that although women have all these legal rights and accounts for 50% of voters, the nomination and elections of women is still influenced by subjective factors relating to beliefs, prejudice, and culture patterns inherited for classist and sexist society, in which the sphere of work and public authority was restricted to men. Living in Cuba, as harsh as it may sound, it's like living behind bars for your entire life. Cubans have no freedom, have equality, but too much order, which makes life there a nightmare. Sooner or later, the bat will fade away and make Cubans have freedom and less order. And hopefully this changes quickly.